Report right here, back to you with Week 5 picks. Let's jump right in. Alright, in our Thursday night game is going to be the Rams taking on the Seahawks, where the Rams, they suffered their first loss of the season against the Cardinals, while Seattle was able to pull off a win against the 49ers. Seattle, that's a tough place to be at, and coming off a short week, I gotta go with the Seahawks on this one. Jets taking on the Falcons. For the Jets, they were able to pick up their first win of the season against the Titans, while Atlanta lost against Washington. Washington was able to get a score late in the fourth quarter, and the Falcons could not respond. I'm going to go with Atlanta over the Jets. Detroit taking on Minnesota. For Detroit, they are one of two teams that are still winless. Minnesota coming off a loss against the Browns. I'm going to go with the Vikings over the Lions. New Orleans taking on Washington. Washington, like I mentioned, was able to pull off the win against the Falcons. Meanwhile, New Orleans suffered a loss against the Giants, gave them their first win of the season. I'm going to go with the Saints and say they rebound. New England taking on Houston. For New England, able to put up a good fight against the Buccaneers, but could not come up with a win. And Houston, after that Week 1 win against the Jaguars, they've lost 3 straight. I'm going with New England over Houston. Miami taking on Tampa Bay. Miami, again, Tua is out. Hopefully he'll be back next week. For Tampa Bay, they're 3-1 right now, but they are starting to show some weaknesses on their team, and the secondary has got to get healthy. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay on this one, but this team has got to be careful. Green Bay taking on Cincinnati. Cincinnati, one of the surprise teams in the NFL this year. I don't think anybody expected them to be 3-1 right now, and Green Bay pulled off a win last week against the Steelers. I'm going to go with Green Bay over the Bengals. Denver taking on Pittsburgh. This game's going to be played in Pittsburgh. For the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger just has not looked like the same Ben Roethlisberger from past years, and it's coming close to the time where the Steelers might have to consider benching him. Meanwhile, Denver has suffered their first loss of the season at home against the Ravens. I'm going to go with Denver over Pittsburgh. Philadelphia taking on Carolina. Philadelphia suffered a loss against the Chiefs. Meanwhile, Carolina suffered their first loss of the season last week against the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Panthers over the Eagles. Tennessee taking on Jacksonville. Tennessee, I mentioned earlier, they gave the Jets their first win of the season. Meanwhile, the Jaguars are the other team that has not won a game so far this year. I'm going to go with the Titans over the Jaguars. They're not going to give another team their first win. Cleveland taking on the Chargers. For the Chargers, pulled off a really good Monday night win against the Raiders. Meanwhile, Cleveland able to pick up a win against the Vikings. I'm going to go with the Chargers over Cleveland on this one. I say Justin Herbert outduels Baker Mayfield. Chicago taking on the Raiders. Raiders suffered a loss on Monday night against the Chargers. Meanwhile, Chicago able to pick up a win against Detroit. Now, we don't know if Andy Dalton's going to be back yet or not. Justin Fields just has not been ready to start as of yet. I got to go with the Raiders over the Bears on this one. 49ers taking on the Cardinals. The 49ers right now, they are 2-2, while the Cardinals, they are undefeated. They are the only undefeated team remaining. Kind of a shocker that they're the last undefeated team standing. I don't think anybody could have predicted that. I'm going to go with the Cardinals over the 49ers on this one, but expect this one to be a fight. Giants taking on Dallas. For Dallas, they are 3-1 right now. Trayvon Diggs is having a breakout season in that secondary, and Dak Prescott's getting better and better each week. Meanwhile, the Giants able to pick up a win last week, got their first win of the season. I'm going to go with Dallas over the Giants on this one. They should win this one easily. Buffalo taking on Kansas City. This has an opportunity to be a game of the week, Sunday night game rematch of the AFC Championship game. KC right now is 2-2. Buffalo 3-1. I'm going to go with KC over Buffalo on this one, but this is probably going to turn out to be a quarterback duel by both Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. This should be a fun game to watch. And our Monday night game is going to be Indianapolis taking on Baltimore. Indianapolis able to pick up their first win of the season last week against the Dolphins. Meanwhile, the Ravens able to go to Mile High, beat the Broncos. The receiving corps was able to rebound after last week against the Lions. I'm going to go with Baltimore over Indianapolis on this one. Alright guys, those were my Week 5 picks, and I will see you next time.